What we do here is go back.
What is your job role in the industry?
I am a camera supervisor, stroke camera crew leader at Coronation Street ITV.
What is the salary range of the job role?
It can be anything in television. I've worked a long time in television on lots of different shows, and generally it can be a different price for different shows you work on. Budget restrictions, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. But as a cameraman, I say when you start out, you could probably, as camera assistant and stuff, maybe 20 grand, and then you could quite easily get to a six-figure sum if you get on the big stuff and you're very good and in demand.
Okay. To get a role like yourself, what qualifications would you need?
I'm not necessarily sure that you need qualifications as such. I think it's more about experience and an interest and a passion in what you do. We're in a creative industry. You have to show creativity. It's like photography, like camera work, like anything like that. I mean, they can teach it, don't get me wrong, but there is a natural flair to a lot of creativity. That's why you get good artists and poor artists, isn't it? So qualification-wise, I'm not really sure. I'm sure management look at qualifications, but I think as if I was conducting interviews, I'd be looking more for past, examples of work, examples of camera work, that kind of thing. So I think it's a bit of an unusual industry in that sense that I'm not saying qualifications aren't important, they're probably as important as showing your interest in the craft that you want to be in.
So, obviously you're very experienced in the media industry. How long have you actually been doing this job?
I think this is my 21st year as a professional cameraman.
Okay.
I started at the BBC 21 years ago. I was staff there for 6 years. I left to become freelance, and then I was a freelance cameraman, lighting cameraman, right through until about 18 months ago when I took a permanent position here at Coronation Street. I've been working as a freelance cameraman here for about the last 15, 16 years. So it is, and then say 18 months ago I took a staff position.
What skills would you say are the most important for the job role itself?
I think you have to have a flair for photography, or an image. You can teach people about thirds and positioning and all that kind of stuff, but if you've got a natural flair, it really does help with the shorthand of creating a good shot. That's not to say it can't be taught, it can be taught, but I think it has. I think you have to be confident, because people, as a cameraman, it's your job to create what someone else wants.
Yeah.
So you have to be confident in how to approach that, how to achieve that. So if directors say, I want this, it's up to you to interpret what that is and how to achieve it. Communication skills, absolute must. You've got to be, you have to communicate. That's your job is mostly communicating all day long. you're talking to the director. You work very closely with the director. You work very closely with other heads of departments, whether you're your lighting director, your head of sound, makeup, props, everyone. You communicate with everyone on a daily basis with what the shot is. Stamina is a big part of the business. You're on your feet all day long. You very rarely get to sit down. You'll do your 10,000 steps every day, I guarantee. And I work in drama mostly. Obviously, I do all the time now on Coronation Street, but television as a rule, or film as a rule, is 11, 12, 13-hour days every day. If you're out on big dramas, you could work 9 days straight, 12 hours a day. So stamina. I know you have to really want to do it, because it does take it out of you physically and mentally, because there's a huge amount of that. Not that other jobs don't, but I'm just saying that you must be prepared for putting the graft in. Other skills, I don't know. I think they're probably the main ones. I think if you're considering a job in the industry.
Yeah, definitely. So for you, obviously, you're quite high up in the industry, and your role is so important. How long is your working day? So times from start to...
Yeah, my working day is well, Coronation Street here we work 11-hour days. I say television in general is 11, 12, 13-hour days. Whatever job, whatever genre you're working in, even kids television, right through to big dramas, to pop shows and stuff like that. So yeah, you want to explain the working day?
Well, yeah, if you could please.
Yeah, so I come in the morning. I'm in charge of my crew, which is there's 3 cameras on Corrie. Yeah. There'll be 2 grips. I also liaise very closely with other heads of department, the sound department particularly, in achieving good sound on our shots. The lighting director I work very closely with as well. So we'll probably have maybe a dozen scenes a day to film, maybe 30 pages of dialogue. Each scene's broken down into, the director's broken it down into plans where he wants the actors to be, where he wants the cameras to be. But it's an organic process. Each scene we do what's called a block. The director will go on set with the actors. He'll say, I want you to go here. The actors will read the lines, do their bits, but then it changes. And it changes nearly all the time, because the actors will come up with good ideas. Maybe they'll want to stand somewhere else or do something else or turn somewhere else, and then the conversation then becomes me and the director. Then we go, how do we film this? And then that's where I talk with the director how we're going to cover it. Lots of different shots. So it might involve going different sides of the line, taking different parts of the set out, moving around, which again then that involves sound, that involves lighting. So I have to have discussions with them. So I let everybody know how it's going, and what the plan is to do. Then I tell my crew how we're going to achieve it. So I go and see to the other guys, camera guys, and say, you've got these shots, you've got those shots. So that's generally how a scene works. Then we film it. We'll film it numerous times till the director's happy, till the actors are happy, till it's technically good. And then we move on to the next scene, and the process happens all over again. And we do that all day long.
Every day.
Yeah.
So do you work on weekends or not?
Not on Coronation Street, we don't work on weekends. I say I was freelance for 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
Weekend work is very common, especially if you're filming sport. Obviously, most sport happens at the weekend. I've worked on a lot of big entertainment shows, your Saturday night stuff, your big entertainment shows. A lot of that are live Saturday night, so obviously working Saturdays. And if they're not live Saturday night, a lot of these big entertainment shows need big audiences. So they're filmed at weekends so the audience can come and attend, and same with evenings. If you're doing a big live entertainment show, or not live an entertainment show, it's like The Voice or something of that. We have the big part of those shows are audience. So you can't film them at 10 o'clock in the morning because you're not going to get the audience. So we have to be weekends. Generally, the big shows are filmed at weekends. So camera work, media work, in general is there's no such thing as a weekend. You don't get weekends off. You don't get bank holidays off. It's that kind of thing. You'll film when you film. There's no distinction between that. Again, it's something you need to think about if you're going into the industry. Like I say, long hours and not necessarily a 5-day week.
Okay.
So I think that's,
Excuse me.
I think that's everything.
Is that all the questions?
Yeah.
I thought there was more than that.
Yeah, you got any more questions for him? Anything you can think of?
So, well, I was going to ask them, like the skills one, but then I read it on there, it was already there. So, what would Yang want to know? That's what I'm thinking of. What
It's
would
for
she want?
Johnston, but yeah.
Yeah, but
Do you stick with the same camera crew throughout your entire? So like, do you change camera crew when you change sets or different scenes?
Yeah, I'll probably could talk to you on it for the
Yeah.
editing.
Do that again if you want.
Yes, my crew changes quite a lot. I try not to, but it's a crewing scenario with the business. You might need to slip different camera into different units, but generally I try and stick with the same crew. But from block to block, it can be different. When I was freelance, I did a lot of. I was a lighting cameraman where I went out with a sound engineer, me and a sound engineer, and we travelled the world doing all kinds of television shows. I've pretty much filmed on most continents. I've been lucky enough to film as far as Fiji, and I've been in some wonderful places which are very unique, where other people would never get to film, where you're literally the only person on the island because you've been dropped off there by helicopter and you're filming for the day. So I've been very lucky like that. In that scenario, I had a very close relationship with a sound recordist where we went everywhere together. And if I needed a spark, a lighting guy as well, there'd be 3 of us travelling, and I was a very close-knit team. We went around the world doing that together. So crew-wise, you can tend to stick with crews very regular. Same with drama. If you get a call to do a drama, you'll normally get the call from the DOP because he's worked with you before and he wants to work with you.
Yeah.
So he'll phone you up and says, I'm doing whatever, I'm doing Peaky Blinders, whatever, something like that. Are you available? Yes, you are. And then you kind of use the same camera assistants that you've used before.
Yeah.
So it's very much that industry. It's probably the most important thing about this industry is networking and remembering names.
Yeah.
You won't get jobs by sending CVs saying I've got this, this and this.